teachers, I am so excited that you are here. My name is Kayla Durkin and I am the face behind North Dakota Teaching. Since you are here, I'm assuming it's because you want to become a rock star teacher and you are ready to start this new journey. So you are here watching the Blossoming Teacher series, which is going to be a video series that helps you become the teacher that you want to be. Before we get started, I just wanted to share with you the definition of blossoming. I went to askdifference.com and this website defines blossoming as a blooming period or a stage of development, something lovely that gives rich promise. Something lovely that gives rich promise. That is why I am here. I have a rich promise for you that you can be the teacher that you want to be and that you can do all of these things without making the same mistakes that I had to when I first became a teacher. So Blossoming Teachers is a place for new and transitioning teachers who want to receive the best strategies and support they can. Whether you are directly out of college, whether you've been teaching for a couple of years now, maybe you're just switching subjects, you are right where you are meant to be. I want to tell you a little bit about my backstory and then I'll tell you how I want to help you. So as I said, my name is Kayla Durkin and I have been teaching for 5 years now, but within those 5 years, each year has been very different. I started out my journey as a 4th grade teacher and I was in a small rural school. It was pre-K through 12, but it only had 250 kids throughout the whole school. When I applied for my job and I accepted my job, I went to meet up with the secretary and they gave me the keys to my classroom. And honestly, you guys, I just could not believe it. I was 22 years old, I was fresh out of college, and they are giving me a key to the entire building, a key that opens every single door, a key to a whole school. That was the first moment for me where I was like, oh my gosh, this is a huge responsibility. Can I handle it? The second big thing I remember from accepting my first teaching job was I walked into my classroom. There was a bright blue and orange bookshelf with a couple books on it, a desk right in the middle, and I'm like, okay, I have this job, I have this classroom, but now what? Lucky for me, I had quite a few months before the school year started. I accepted my job in May, but school didn't start until August. So I had 3 months to kind of start getting things figured out. And I was really blessed because I had an incredible mentor who was there to answer any questions that I had. But at the same time, I had a lot of questions, more questions than I could ever count. And I just really didn't want to overwhelm her. So I was really lucky to have her, but I know that a lot of teachers don't have that same luxury that I had. There were so many things that were stressful for me during my first year of teaching, and I will be the first to admit that I made mistake after mistake. I was truly just in survival mode, but at the same time, my first year of teaching will always be one of my favorite years. I have so many incredible memories from that year. My students were incredible. I had so much fun teaching them. I learned so many things from them. I learned so many things about myself. And being a first year teacher is just so special. It's kind of crazy because it's almost like you have all of this energy, you can do everything. And I truly was doing it all. I was teaching all the subjects. I was teaching everything I thought a 4th grader needed to know. I was doing everything I could to make sure that we were prepared and we were ready and we were learning. But as prepared as you can ever be, there's still going to be things that come up. So when I was preparing for the first day of school, I did all the research, I checked all the boxes, I made all the lists, I did everything I thought I needed to do. And yet on the first day of school, we were doing an art project and I had the students get out their supplies and we were gonna have this really fun activity. And all of a sudden a boy walks up to me and he's like, so is this a good time to sharpen my pencil? And I'm like, oh my gosh, in this moment, I need to decide. I did not prepare for a student to ask me if they could sharpen their pencil because I didn't think I needed to teach this routine yet. So here I am panicking a little bit inside because I'm like, whatever I say right now is the routine I have to go with. This is what matters. So I had to be quick on my toes. I had to make a decision in that moment. Of course, everything went on and everything was fine. But it's like, no matter how prepared you think you're going to be, Little things are always going to happen, and that's okay. My second year of teaching, I was still teaching fourth grade, so of course everything went a lot better. I knew more about the reading curriculum. I knew more about how to teach math. I knew more about how to teach a lot of things, and something that was really awesome was I collaborated with the 5th and 6th grade teacher, and we decided, since we were in a school where we were each the only teachers, I was the only 4th grade teacher, they were the only 5th grade, and they were the only 6th grade teacher, we each took a subject. So there was social studies, science, reading, and health, and one of them taught social studies, one of them taught science, and I was going to be the one teaching writing and health. During this experiment, or during this time, I learned 2 things about myself that I'm forever grateful for. I learned that I do like teaching older kids, and I really do have a passion for 6th graders. And I also learned that writing is not my passion, and I never want to teach writing again. And learning those things, that's okay. I am still an incredible teacher, even if I admit that teaching writing's not for me. Cue year 3, and I was moving on up in the world, so to speak. After that journey of teaching a little bit older kids, I kind of realized I wanted to teach older kids, and I already knew that math was my passion, and a math position opened up in the middle high school area, and I was able to take that. So I was now teaching math and keyboarding to 7th graders, computer apps and pre-algebra to 8th graders, geometry to 9th and 10th graders, and a personal finance type math class to 11th graders. So I went from teaching 10-year-olds to teaching 10th graders, which is kind of crazy. I had a lot of tools in my toolbox, but at the same time, part of this was still kind of like being a first-year teacher all over again. I had to relearn new curriculum. And I'll tell you, 10th grade curriculum's a lot harder than 4th grade curriculum, even if we are college educated, even if we are prepared. And there were just so many more obstacles that I went through. And it was incredible that I still had support, but I know not other teachers have support when they go through big changes like that. Year 4 was a really great year for me. I truly fell in love with the math curriculum. I knew what I was teaching. I knew how I was teaching it. I loved the age level that I was teaching. One little thing did get switched up. I wasn't teaching those 11th graders anymore, and instead I picked up a 6th grade math class, and it was just a phenomenal school year. A couple things did change in my personal life though, and I decided to apply to a new school district. And so I was moving school districts, I was moving to a new school, and so year 5 brought on a huge adventure that I truly fell in love with. I loved the new school that I was at, but there were some big changes too. Remember, my old school was pre-K through 12, 250 kids? Well, this new school was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and for just the 6th graders, there was 400 of them. That's a huge change to go from 250 kids of all ages to now having over 400 6th graders. I mean, it was crazy, but I loved that job. I was teaching 3 sections of math, 2 sections of social studies, and a section of reading. Every day was so different. Every day was so exciting, and I just loved every minute of it. But again, if I'm in a new school, if I'm in a new district, there are still things that I have to get used to, and things that are changing, and things that kind of bring me back to being a first-year teacher. So the reason why I'm sharing all of this with you is because I have learned so many things in the past 5 years. I have not consecutively taught the same thing for 5 years in a row because there's always been a little bit of change. And through that, I gained the most experience I could have ever hoped for. I have so many tools and strategies that I want to share with you, and I have so many exciting things that I can bring to new teachers. As a first-year teacher, or even a teacher that's transitioning from one grade level to the next, this is your chance to shine. This is your chance to invent who you want to be as a teacher. This is your chance to decide, how do I want to do things? How am I going to figure this out? What do I want to do as a teacher? It's seriously such an exciting time. And for me, through all 5 of those years, even though each year was very different for me, there was one thing that was always constant, and that was that I had support. No matter what role I was in, I had such incredible coworkers, I had such incredible administration. I truly had what you would wish for as a new teacher. I had everything I could ever want. But as I said earlier, I know that that's a luxury, and I know a lot of teachers aren't in that exact same situation. I have many friends who have been teaching for the same amount as me and some even longer. And when they first started teaching, they didn't have any supports and they didn't have anyone they can talk to, and they didn't have anyone who was looking out for them, who was checking in on them, who was supporting them or encouraging them. And that's what I want to do for you. If you're worried about starting your first year as a teacher, or if you're worried about the transition that you are going to be going through, I want you to know that I am here for you, and I want to help you blossom into the teacher that you want to be. So whether you are straight out of college, whether you are making a career change, I will be here to help you every single step of the way. I want to help you break down your curriculum and make that curriculum map. I want to help you rock that first teacher interview. I want to help you figure out your classroom organizational system and figure out your classroom management plan. There are so many things that first year teachers have to think about, or teachers that are transitioning into new grade levels, and I want to be here for you through it all. So here's how I want to help you through this Blossoming Teachers video series. I am going to offer you 12 modules that are going to take you through all of the challenges and all the struggles and all the things that I wish I would have known as a first year teacher, or even in those first couple years when I was transitioning. I am also going to offer you workbook pages that go along with each of these modules so that you can work through them and so that you can be prepared. Some of these modules are, of course, going to include how to rock your first teacher interview. Okay, you have the classroom, now what? Classroom management, classroom organization, but we're also going to cover more challenging things such as student data, parent-teacher conferences, student-led conferences, things that no one really tells you about until you get to them and you're like, oh my gosh, okay, now what am I going to do? But I also know that going through a couple modules, going through these 12 modules, although they're going to be incredible and although they're going to be super helpful, just giving you those videos is not enough. So I am also going to give you exclusive access to our private Facebook page, Blossoming Teachers, where you are going to be in a group with all the other new teachers, all the other teachers who are transitioning, teachers who are going through the exact same season that you're going through. We know that there are going to be challenges. We know that there are going to be things that you need help with. And so this is going to be a group where you are going to not only be encouraged and you are not only going to be supported by myself and everyone else in the group, but you are going to use this as such a tool that's going to be so helpful to you. Maybe you have a question that you don't know who to ask. Post it in the group. Maybe you have a resource that's working so well for you and you want to share it with other new teachers. That would be fantastic because I know new teachers would benefit from that too. This group is going to be life-changing because along with being able to collaborate and communicate with other teachers who are going through the same thing as you are, I am also going to be doing monthly coaching calls that will be live within the group. So maybe you have a question you've been dying to ask and you just need someone to talk you through it. That's what these coaching calls are going to be for. Since they will be live, you are going to be able to type up your questions and I'm going to be answering them one after the next until we've answered all of the questions. My hope is that I am going to be able to help you and support all of you new teachers so that you can blossom into the teacher that I know you are capable of being. But let's say that there's a question you want to ask and it's a private question and you don't want a bunch of people knowing about it, or you're not comfortable posting about it. That's okay too, because I'm still going to be there to support you. You will have the opportunity to do private coaching calls with me too. Maybe you have a super sensitive topic that you just cannot post about or talk about to anyone. Maybe you really need help breaking down your curriculum. Maybe you're nervous to ask about what's been going through your personal life and how it can affect your teaching life. I know that as first year teachers, burnout and balance are very difficult things to handle. And so I want to be there to walk you through all of those things. So let me give you a recap. Through this Blossoming Teachers video series, of course, you're going to get the module videos with the workbooks so that you can work through all of these things that I struggled with. You're also going to get an exclusive Facebook page where you can communicate with other teachers who are in the same season of life as you are. There's going to be monthly coaching calls where you can ask me any questions that you're dying to ask. And then there's even the opportunity for private coaching calls for those sensitive subjects that you are not really prepared to talk about with other people. I want to be here to support you. I have a passion of helping teachers who are going through things that I went through and that I struggled with. I know being a teacher is hard, but being a first-year teacher is just unexplainable. Through all of this, I promise to be here to support you, to give you encouragement, to remind you that you are exactly where you are meant to be. If you have made it this far and you are still here with me, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. Thank you for taking the time to try and better yourself and to better yourself as a teacher for your students. You are going to be an incredible educator, and I know that because you are taking time out of your day to find out what you can do to support your students and to be there for them and to be the best that you can be. Through this all, I want to help you balance that teacher life. I want to help you prepare for things so that you don't have to worry about that teacher burnout. And most of all, I just want to encourage you and let you know that you're doing a great job. You are a phenomenal teacher. I believe in you. I hope you are all in. I hope you're ready to bet on yourself because I know you're worth it. I know you're an incredible educator, and I know that you are right where you are meant to be. I'm so excited to be on this journey with you, and I cannot wait to see where it takes us. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I can't wait to connect with you in the future. I am really, truly hoping to see you in our Blossoming Teachers Facebook page. Talk to you later.